Welcome back, everyone. I am the Depressed Dior, and this is Tales from the Red Dragon Inn. All right. So I believe in my description of the previous video, I mentioned a mistake. When I was talking about Invigorate, I thought it reduced the cooldown of all abilities. It's only 1 for 1. So if you have Invigorate 1, you can only reduce the cooldown of one ability by 1. But if you have a higher number than 1, you can split it up however you want. So you can either reduce 1 by 2 or so forth if you have Invigorate 2. Besides that, we're going to be diving into the second scenario. I did play this on my own, just to kind of get familiar with it. For this playthrough, I am going to go ahead and just reduce myself down to 2 characters. I want to see how it plays for one thing, but also it will make it a little bit easier as far as upkeep in my case. So that is what I'm going to be sticking with. So with that... I think I'm missing something. Yes, I am. Give me 1 second. Okay, so usually you're supposed to have a second initiative with the plus token to use, but since I think I deleted them already from a previous game, so I'm just going to make copies of both of theirs and just make a duplicate. It functions exactly the same. Essentially, you're supposed to have 2 initiative tokens when you're playing with 2 characters. Also, if you are playing by yourself, like I am, you still use 2 characters. So the lowest party size you can have is 2 characters. Compared to a 3-person party, I technically will have more initiative steps because I have two characters with 2 each, so it'll be 4 in total instead of 3. The disadvantage, of course, is I'm just going to have less cards overall, which means cooldowns may become an issue, but I will probably be able to freely use things like Invigorates and things like that to hopefully mitigate it. Speaking of cards, each of the scenarios have their own little baggies you can use to kind of grab their specific characters, and so that's what we're using. But essentially, we have some new abilities. We, of course, have our original ones for Deidra here, and then we have the Goddess is generous with her gifts. I did confirm that the little shield icon that you see up there represents a shield token that you get for free if you have this card with you, so that's why we have the shield from that. And this is a reaction ability, which can let you use epic dice to refresh cooldown or refresh energy whenever you activate a card that uses energy. And then Deidra has another card that uses energy. It's a shenanigan that lets her leap and give out shield tokens. Also, we have access to potions for this scenario. You get the choice of one of 2. You can either take a potion of buzzing energy, which does invigorate 4 or recharge 1. Either to yourself or an adjacent person. And then the potion of scrapes and bruises will heal 4 shenanigan. It's a single-use card, as you can see from the icon. You discard it when you use it. I'm bringing this because, obviously, with 2 characters, I feel like I'm going to be taking some damage. Now, playing with 2 characters does mean that the encounters themselves will also have less monsters or be slightly easier. So I'll at least adapt to that. Also, we have access to the power trees. Essentially, the way they work is you get a number of points depending on the scenario you're in, and each of the points can be used to fill in one of these little bubbles here. You have to always spend your first point on a gold circle as your starting point, and then you go from there. For this encounter, we only get 1 point. So my choices are either I get a shield token or a damage token. A damage token you can expend to increase your damage by 1. Shield token, of course, reduces damage by 2. So I went ahead and took the shield token. That's why Deidra has 2 shields. She has 1 from the power tree and then 1 from the Goddess is generous with her gifts. And then for Eve, her power tree is slightly different. Her choice was either she can get a damage token or she can get a evade token. What evade does is whenever you take damage, you can expend any number of evade tokens to completely negate any harm effects that the attack had, and move 2 spaces for every evade token that you spend. So if you're surrounded by if you got swarmed by a bunch of enemies, or you're about to be swarmed by a bunch of enemies, and you get hit by the first one, you can essentially use the evade token to hopefully get away. All right. Only other thing to note is the toughness tokens. Toughness tokens and passive abilities. So the way toughness tokens work is whenever you do damage to something that has a toughness token, instead of doing damage, you use up one of their toughness tokens. So essentially, this thing can soak up just 2 free hits. And then there's the various passives. There's Resilient, Slime Body, slime body, and target acquired, which is explained in this, of course. So target acquired just means that glitch goblins will attack everybody else, including other glitch goblins. So they treat everything as foes. Slime body is pretty straightforward. They can actually go on acid pit hazards without triggering the damage. And then the AI takes that into account as far as movement's concerned. And then resilient is whenever forced movement happens, they only get it gets reduced down to 1. So if you do like push 4, as the example says, it'll only do push 1. It has no effect on grab though. Besides that, there is new terrain, so I guess I'll talk about that. Acid pits, which are throughout the map. Moving into anyone that enters a hazard, the acid pit will take 2 damage, and then they take 2 damage if they are still in that space during the objective phase. Inventory is just difficult terrain, so it costs additional movement to enter, but not to leave. You can also safely leap over and be forced through it. Gravel walls, they block the way, but any hero can perform an attack on these gravel walls. It'll automatically hit and automatically destroy it. And then it also mentions that it can be removed through the Trembling Tunnel scenario event. Besides that, there's also the Rotten Pillars, which will be explained in the Blob Room setup. And then same thing for the point of no return. So if you look at the map, there's, of course, everything's kind of already been set up, except for the monsters. And I think that's about it. So, I guess I didn't talk about Eve's new abilities. So, of course, we have our standard stuff at the beginning. We also now have Flim Flam Strike, which does range 5 attack for a yellow die plus 1 damage to 1 foe. And then you may move 1 space to the target and each adjacent each foe adjacent to the target in the order of your choosing. So it does a little bit of a position shuffling and things like that. And then there's I'm Not Eve. She's over there. It's a shenanigan that lets her place her an illusion, which is really useful because in the beginning it was really hard to place her illusions because, you could place her illusions, but her other effect is attacking and melee. So taking advantage of both with Phantom Punch was kind of a pain. But now we have a way of actually placing illusions without relying on attacking and melee. Or wasting the attack. Alright, so with all that said and done, we need to talk about the monsters. So glitch goblins, they will move towards the nearest foe and in range, they'll attack 3 foes for 1 damage. Remember, they attack pretty much everyone but themselves. They will attack other glitch goblins. And then they have an explosion, which is if they successfully deal damage, they hurt themselves. We got slimes, which will do burst damage in all directions, and then a ranged attack that can place traps. And then there's this big guy that does that pushes everyone nearby, and then it burst, and then kind of same thing. It's essentially just a bigger slime. And I think that's the gist of it. So with that, let's go ahead and dive right into the story. Greyport is built on top of an ancient undercity, parts of which are deserted and parts of which are quite lively, occupied, and have a complex culture of their own, or culture all their own. Fiona and Gerke, who once lived in the undercity, know that several basements in Greyport have connected passageways and stairwells, which allows the folk from the surface to journey down into the undercity, and vice versa. Thanks to the incursion of these awful rock-eating slimes, one more building in Greyport now has a basement with undercity access. Freshly equipped, your dauntless band of adventurers drives the hideous oozes out of the cellar of the Red Dragon Inn and back down the sinuous, slimy tunnel that the creatures have bored into the rock. You light your torches, or if you're classy, a Collegium-trained mage who can't be bothered with such common lighting implements, cast a light spell on your staff, and make your way down the slippery incline as it winds its way ever downward. At last, you emerge in a large chamber dimly lit by phosphorescent moss and absolutely filled end to end with slimes, jellies, oozes, and other vicious I don't know how to pronounce that. Vicious creatures in the back of the chamber. So tall as to nearly reach the cavernous ceiling is a truly gargantuan ooze, undulating great fury and budding slimes off as you watch. "Look out," shouts Zot. That isn't normal." "Why look when you can fight?" shouts Fiona, raising her blade. "Charge!" Just then a deluge of slime cascades down from the ceiling in a goopy curtain. You take a rolling dive away from it, just narrowly managing to avoid being engulfed by the curtain. as it nearly splits your party. Through the brief gaps in the still falling curtain, you can see that the rest of the party has also managed to avoid being slimed. We'll catch up with you. For now, stop that slime. So I guess it implies that we're a party member as well. In any case, map setup. So it's just talking about grab the gravel walls and all that good stuff. Yeah, all this has already been taken care of. Obviously, certain characters have new abilities. Dot, for example, has access to his own version of traps with wizard fires. Yeah, that's kind of the gist of it. There's also this red die now, which is used in the hardest difficulty, which is essentially a peril die that can essentially make you critically fail. I'm not going to be playing with it because I think it's dumb. So all it literally does is add additional RNG to the game. In any case, objectives: reveal the final chapter, a chamber, and defeat the Gelatinous Blob. Lose condition is if any hero is defeated, all players lose. And then we've already gone over those, so we just need to get set up with... Oh, so one thing to note, early in the previous encounter we had the different colored initiative cards, and the initiative cards themselves actually are not supposed to have pictures on them, and this is because you use the colors to kind of represent what monsters are being used when. So in this case, there's... in our previous encounter, there's 3 different monsters of, blue... It was like blue, yellow, and red, I think it was. And so that was what we used to associate the various initiatives. And then for this, we have blue, gray, and yellow. So what the scenarios will tell you is to get a number of certain colored cards to represent those particular monsters. So in the case of Glitch Goblins, there's going to be at most 3. Slimes at most 8. And then, of course, there's only 1 Gelatinous Blob. All right, with all that said and done, let's go ahead and go straight to setting up the under the cellar. You enter through the hole in the floor, your lamp doing a fair job of illuminating the space. The cramped space smells of wet earth and ale as the broken barrels continue belching out their contents onto the sloped floor. It looks like there may have been tunnels and passages down here that have since fallen in due to who knows what. However, it looks like the most recent cave-in is on the far side of the room. The wall appears to be made from loose rubble. A good whack could probably blow a hole in the wall big enough for even Gog to squeeze through. Oh yeah, and the floor is moving. Slimes are attacking. Alright, so since we're now playing it with only 2 players, we do have multiple difficulties. If you play on Legend difficulty, you're supposed to add in the red die thing. I'm not going to mess with that. I'm just going to stick with Journeyman for now. Just going to keep this casual. So E and F will have Glitch Goblins, and then C and D have Slimes. So with that, I'm going to go shuffle, and then draw 1. So we get 3. 3 is going to be over at E. And then our other will be at F. So there you go, Glitch Goblins. Sorry, I'm kind of zoomed out so you don't really get to see the pictures, but you can see them on the board, so there you go. Anyway, C and D for Slimes, so we've already shuffled the deck, so 8. That's C and D, I believe what it said. Yep, C and D. Alright, and then 1 more. Alright, and then we get 1. Okay. A little less in your face compared to the 3-player setup. Alright. And with all that said and done, we'll go ahead and grab the initiative tokens. Alright, and yeah, I'm just going to keep Deidra and Eve in the front. That's completely fine for me. Alright, so with that, I'm going to hit shuffle just in case, and then we'll draw. Okay, we get Eve, one of the Eve starting initiatives. And yeah, we'll dive right in. So, as always, we could do 2 actions and 1 shenanigan. We actually have a shenanigan now, so we'll go ahead and activate that right off the bat. Oh, I completely forgot about the dice. We need to set up some dice here. Sorry, I should have been doing that in order. So, order of operation, remove cooldowns, roll scheme dice, then create initiative. So we should have done this before the initiative. Okay, so, alright, Glitch Goblins are going to explode in place, and then Slimes are going to move close and explode. Or burst, rather. Okay, that's workable. So with that in mind, okay. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and activate. I'm not Eve. She's over there, and place an illusion token within range 4. How far do these things go? 4 spaces. Yeah, that's not going to be fun. All right. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just put it next to the slime here to keep it from running closer to us. All right. And then I have 2 actions I can still take. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I can target 2 foes. Okay. So the 2 foes I'm going to target are Slime 8 and Slime 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, everything's in range. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and activate. Oh, are you blinded? Do you hate it? Poor things. So with that, it's gonna give me a cooldown of 4. Yeah, I'm gonna be burning cooldowns quick and fast. That way they can start cooling off as soon as possible. So I target 2 foes for 1 yellow die, and that is it. So I'll go ahead and do that. So the slime. Okay, we do get our Inspire, and we do 1 damage to each of them. So I'm just gonna grab these tokens here, put it on both slimes, and then it also does weaken on each of them. So this will ensure that even if it does get into melee, it's not going to hurt us too badly. All right, next I'm going to go ahead and activate Flim Flam Strike. Okay. I am not going to use the Inspire die. I'm just going to roll a yellow die and see what we get. Okay, so no Inspire because I already have 1 die, and it's plus 1 damage. Sorry, I didn't say who I was targeting. I'm going to be targeting the ooze up there. Okay, so with all that said and done, it's going to do 2 damage to number 1. As always, I apologize for any mistakes. I am going to try to go a little bit fast just to kind of not take too long. So with that, so it does. I rolled a 1 on here for damage, and then it's plus 1 because of Flim Flame Strike itself. And then I can move it and any adjacent foes 1 space. So I'm just moving this next to the Glitch Goblin. That way it can get Exploderated. Alright, with all that said and done, that is it for her. She just used 2 actions and 1 shenanigan. So let's go ahead and draw the next card, the next initiative. It's Eve again. Okay, well, I'm okay with that. Is there anything in particular I want to do? Sure, I am going to go ahead and move. So for my action, I'm going to use Bewildering Strut. So I can move the illusion and myself if I want to. I'm not going to move the illusion. I'll just have it stay in place. And I'm going to go ahead and move up to here so that the slime doesn't move. It's already weakened, so I don't need to worry about it hurting me, because weakened tokens will reduce the damage by 2. Alright, so with all that, let's go ahead and... so that was my first action. I don't have any other shenanigans to do except the potion, which I'm not going to activate. And then I'm just going to do a Phantom Punch. If I want to, I could summon another illusion, but it'll just replace the other one. So I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to... let's see. How do I want to do this? Actually, yeah. You know what? I'm going to move down here, because I'm not sure how the mechanics work exactly. I don't know if it forces me to actually have to play this place illusion or not, so just in case, I'll move down here, attack this slime, and then do Illusion Punch to place the illusion up here. Like that. So unfortunately, I did kind of waste the I'm not Eve, she's over there, because I've already attacked, but that's okay. So this one I'm attacking 8. Again, I should have probably rolled the extra die there, but I didn't. So it's going to do 2 damage, so it also will be at 3 damage in total. These slimes do have 7 HP each. I did a move and an attack, so I'm good to go. That is it for Eve. Next is Deidra. Okay. So for Deidra, yeah, the reason why I wanted to make sure there's something adjacent to the slimes is so they don't move away from the glitch goblins. Alright, so for Deidra, I'm going to go ahead and use Graceful Step as my movement. I'm just seeing what I can do exactly. Yeah, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 to there. So that was my shenanigan. And then I can make an attack. I'm going to use Divine Strike, which is a range 2 attack. And I'm going to actually target the gravel wall. So as long as I do any sort of damage to it, it breaks it. So one thing to note about the this encounter is we have Trembling Tunnels under the cellar. If there are no enemies with the slime body keyword in play during the objective phase, and if no gravel walls have been destroyed between under the cellar and the echo chamber, destroy all gravel walls between under the cellar and echo chamber. Place a slime in each acid pit and under cellar, then populate the echo chamber. So essentially, if we can either kill everything, in which case, or kill all the slimes, which will make the walls go down, but then it spawns more slimes, or we purposely break the wall, in which case it's going to, at the next objective phase, it's going to reveal this area, but it won't spawn any additional slimes. So it's kind of your choice of how you want to do it. If you go slow, you're going to have to fight more enemies. If you go fast, you'll have to encounter more of them at once, but you won't suffer anything additional. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and destroy that. And it says stop. It says stop reading until one or both the gravel walls have been removed from between this room and the next, and then return to walk through continuing scenario 2. Now this is under the objective phase, so I believe we don't reveal anything yet. That's my guess on that. I'm not entirely certain that's how it works. I did play it the other way, where I immediately revealed everything, in which case they were automatically added to the initiative. I don't know. Both of them are kind of weird to me, but I'm going to assume that I will resolve this when we get to the objective. Yeah, because like I said, it's underneath objective phase. So I'm assuming it's objective. Anyway, so that was my attack. So I have one action left if I want to take it. And yeah, I'll go ahead and take it. I'm going to go ahead and roll yellow and Inspire die and target the slime here. Yeah, I'll just target the slime here. Actually, no, I'm not going to use the Inspire die. There's no point in me using it. So yeah, I'll just target the slime, roll yellow die. It's going to do 1 damage, which is fine. This was slime 1. I can choose to push it. Sure, I'll push it. Doesn't bother me. Okay, and then that is it for her turn. I used Shenanigan in 2 actions. Didn't burn any cooldowns this time. Holy cow, what's with this initiative? Alright, Dietrich goes next. Sure. I'm going to... Alright, well, I will... I'm going to shoot at the glitch moblin. Right here. I'm not going to use any extra dice, so I'm just going to roll normal. Actually, yeah, I'm in range. So I'm just going to do a regular shot. Alright, I get 1 damage. It's a critical, so I re-roll it. 2 damage, and I re-roll. And then 3 damage in total. Glitch goblins have 4 HP. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to push it 1 space away. So it's going to go into the acid pit and get destroyed. So that's good. That's Glitch Moblin 1 taken care of. And then for my second action, I'm going to do Divine Strike again, targeting the slime. This time I am going to go ahead and add this die. Alright, with a crit, so I'm at 3 damage so far. 4, and the Inspire doesn't matter because I'm using a bonus die. So that will finish off 1, because I did a total of 4 damage and it only has 7 health. So it was a total of 8. So that takes care of all that. I'm going to keep the tokens on hand just nearby, just in case. And that is, I could do shenanigans if I want to. Do I want to? Sure. Yeah, I'll do Graceful Step. And go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that is it for her. Right, goes Slimes. So the Slime's going to make an attack. And what's going to end up happening is it's going to do it's going to go towards nearest foe, which conveniently I have Eve there. And then it's going to do 2 damage within this burst radius to just Eve. It doesn't attack the Glitch Moblin. So the Weaken's going to trigger, and I believe that reduces damage by 2. I'll check that real quick. Okay, so it reduces damage only by 1, not by 2. So Dietrich's going to take 1 damage. I could use a shield if I want to, but I'm not going to. Or sorry, not Deidra. Eve is going to take 1 damage. Which I'm okay with. Yeah, and also Eve doesn't have shield, so it doesn't really matter for her. She takes 1 damage. Okay, that takes care of that, and then it goes straight to Glitch Goblin, which is going to do 3 damage to everyone adjacent. So it's going to do 3 damage to Slime, and then it's going to do 2 damage to itself. As long as it at least one figure was harmed, it will deal damage to itself. Okay. Now we go straight to the objective. Let's see, find and defeat the if no. Maybe it does trigger. Let's see if it says anything. Okay, it does deploy the new enemies. I apologize. So we can fix this easily enough. So let's go to the next room. So, Echo Chamber. As the wall collapses, the room shudders, dislodging more sections of wall, and the oozing monsters hiding behind them. If the Trembling Tunnels event has been triggered, as also read that stuff falls from the sky. But it didn't. So what we get is we're on Journeyman, so we're going to get 1 Glitch Moblin. So we're going to shuffle and draw. Get Glitch Moblin 1, and this one's going to be at what? Letter A. So yeah, I apologize for this mistake. I didn't completely understand it. Alright, EGH is Slimes. Alright, 3 goes to E. 2 goes to G. And then 4 goes to H. So EGH, and then we get what? 1 trap? 2 traps. We get D and... It puts a trap on the same location. Okay, that doesn't make it... Okay, so once that last slime starts with 3 damage. I mean, that's really how it works. So yeah, there's a trap starts on an H, but so does a slime, so it just takes 3 damage, I guess. Alright, we'll just do it that way. And then there's a trap for D. So down there. Okay, and then I'll redo the remaining turns. Stupid mouse. There we go. Okay, so there's a trap there. So slimes were going first, and then it was Glitch Moblins. So these slimes are going to move in order. So it goes 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Stupid mouse. 1, 2, 3. Alright. And then this Glitch Moblin will try to explode. It won't damage anything, so it won't damage itself. There we go. Now we did this correctly. Okay, so with all that said, we'll now we do the objective phase. We check for acid pit damage. There isn't any. And then nothing else we need to worry about for triggering, so we're good on that front. And now we just do dice rolls. Oh, also I need to do cooldowns, so I'll do that real quick. You had no cooldowns. You had a bunch of cooldowns. So that should be 3, 2, 2. Okay, yep, that's all correct. Okay, that's all been resolved. And then, yeah, so Glitch Goblins are still exploding. And it looks like the slimes this time will be shooting and placing traps. Alright, so we'll go ahead and grab all of these, dump it here, and then shuffle, shuffle, and then draw. Okay, Deidra goes first. Okay, so what we want to do here so we got Slime 8 that's nearly dead, and a wounded Slime 4. Alright, well, if the Glitch Goblins go first, that would take care of one of the Slimes. That would be kind of handy. Alright, so I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is just kind of see what the range is for these. Okay, so what I'm going to do is Shenanigan to here. Use the Graceful Step to get to there. I'm going to go ahead and activate Divine Strike, targeting... Do I want to go that way? Yeah, that works. So yeah, I'll go to where Slime 3 is at, and then I'm going to go ahead and do Divine Strike and target Slime 3 and push it up. It'll push it forward one step after I do damage. So roll 1 yellow die. Alright, does 2 damage and pushes it. Oh, Slime 3. Okay. And then for my last ability is I'm going to go ahead and use 1 charge of Wings of Alana, Lambast My Foes, and Leap 2, and then attack 2 targets within melee range for a yellow plus 1 damage. And you may... and then you may push 2. So I'm going to move to here, and then roll my yellow. Alright, it's going to do a total of 2 damage to each of them. So 2 damage to 3 and to 2. Okay. And that is it. I was hoping that my first attack with Divine Strike would have gotten me a die. That way I could use the goddess as generous with her gifts, but that didn't happen. Alright, that is it for her. Goes to the next person, which is Eve. Okay. So for this one, I'm going to... I'm going to go ahead and do... I'm kind of just seeing my options here. So that's down to that. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not going to work. Okay, I can help deal with 4 then. Okay, that'll work. So I'm going to go ahead and activate Bewildering Strut. I can choose which order I move. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2 to there. Put the slimes just in case. And then I'm going to... oh, I did... oh, no, that's fine. Alright, and then I'm going to activate Look Into My Eyes, which is range 4. I'm going to have it go for this back slime there. So slime 4, which has already taken damage thanks to the trap earlier. So it's going to be a yellow die. Alright, get the Inspire and does 1 damage. And what's going to happen here is it's already at 3 damage because of the trap it started on. It's going to take 1 more damage, which brings it to 4. And then I'm going to make it move onto the trap here, which will destroy it. So I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of that slime. Okay. And that takes care of the slimes. I need to put down cooldowns. Alright, that is it for Eve. Goes to Deidra again. Alright. Oh, I did forget to When I activated my attack, I was supposed to push. Sorry about that. Okay, so with all that said and done, let's go ahead and... So how much damage have they taken? 2, 4... Part of me wants to just keep on running and seeing what happens, but I think I need to kill these slimes. So yeah, what I'm going to go ahead and do is activate Wings of Alana, lay and blast my foes, which is going to give me a leap 2, and then I can do some shenanigans. Or things. I can't call them shenanigans because that's a keyword now. It costs 1 energy. I'm going to go ahead and activate the Goddess is Generous with her gifts. Since I have a epic die, I'm going to go ahead and use that to add a energy back to the ability. So what's going to happen is I'm going to spend 1 energy to activate. I want to use this die to go ahead and put an energy back on it. Okay. So no die for me to spend for attacking. I'm just going to be rolling this and going from there. So I'm going to move here with the leap and then make my attack. Okay, 2 damage to both of them. So that's going to bring one down to 6. And the other one down to 3. Or sorry, the other one down to 4. Okay. And then if I want to, I can do a push. I'm not going to. Instead, I'm going to go ahead and activate Take Hope, my friends, we shall prevail. This will attack in a front burst, essentially, which will allow me to attack both of them, so I'm going to do that. I get to roll 2 yellow dice for this one, so I will. Alright, 2 damage to both of them. Alright, so it's going to take 1 down to 6, and it'll destroy number 3. So number 3 has been dealt with. And then, since I did damage to at least 1 target, I can give a shield to someone within range 2. I'm going to give Eve a shield, just so she has one. Okay. And then I do still have my shenanigan. I haven't actually done Graceful Step this round, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And we're just going to kind of shuffle around this way. Okay. Next. Alright, slimes go first. So I was hoping that was not going to happen, but we're not that lucky. Alright, so it's going to move towards the nearest foe, which we've already done, because everyone's adjacent to something. And then it's going to make a 2 damage attack to a foe within range 2. It's going to target closest, of course. So what's going to happen is it's going to do 2 damage to the illusion. Like so. And then place a trap. Actually, I need to resolve these in order. I apologize. So we need to actually start with number 2 first. So number 2 is going to shoot at Deidra. Deidra is going to use one of her shields to negate the damage, and therefore no trap will be placed, because it only triggers on harm. Alright, then the damage will be done to the illusion, and then it places a trap within that's adjacent to the target. So it's just going to put one up here, where it'll probably stay forever. Okay, so that resolves that. Next will be Eve again. So this slime is dead. It's going to die along with the Glitch Goblin. And so is this other one. So what I'm going to go ahead and do here is I'm going to move. Yeah, I'm going to do Bewildering Strut. And go 1, 2, 3, 4. And this illusion could go... Honestly, I'll just have it stay in place. And I can't go any further. Which is unfortunate. And I actually have no range attack to go after the thing here. So, yeah, not much I can do about that, unfortunately. So, yeah, that's actually... Actually, I could take another action, that's true. I can do the strut again. I still won't have anything I can do with it. So tell you what, I'm just going to place an illusion. So it's going to replace the illusion that's here, and I'm going to place it down here. Because the wall's going to come down soon. Alright, last action is going to go to Glitch Goblins. So we're going to start with number 1. It's going to do 3 damage to this slime, which will kill it. So slime 2 has been eliminated. And then it's going to do 2 damage to itself, which I'm just going to move these 2 over because number 3 is going to do 2 damage to itself and die because it only has 4 health, and then kill the remaining slime. There you go. And then that's end of round. So what's going to be happening is objective's going to trigger because there are no enemies left with slime body and the keyword. We do have enemies left, but not Glitch Goblins do not have slime body. So this is for Echo Chamber. So yeah, same thing here. It's going to trigger. If there are no enemies with slime body keyword in play at the end of the round, and if no gravel walls have been destroyed between Echo Chamber and Dripping Passage, destroy all gravel walls between Echo Chamber and Dripping Passage, and then populate Dripping Passage before setting up initiative for the next round, and place a slime tube in each acid pit in Echo Chamber. Alright, so what we're going to do here is grab these, they go away. And we're going to spawn a bunch of stuff down here in Dripping Passage. It says to do Dripping Passage first, then spawn the additionals. So we'll do D and E for slimes. Alright, 7 and 1. So 7 is going to go to what, D and E? Is that what it was? Yep, D and E, and then we get 2 traps. Also, the description is this long, narrow chamber is noticeably more humid and steeper than the last. There's an ominous, loud squelching sound echoing from further down the chamber. Okay. So D and E. So we got number 1. Oh, there it is. So E to there, and then we're also going to get some traps. A and B. That's impassable terrain. That is not a trap. Like so. Oh, also for some reason I was short a gravel wall. That's supposed to be gravel wall there. Alright, and then takes care of that, and then we need to spawn number 8 and number 2. Alright. Okay, and then that takes care of objective phase. We start a new round, deal with the scheme dice and all that, so I'll do scheme dice first. Alright, explosions and shooting again. Get rid of cooldowns. Okay, and then grab all these and throw in the bag. Shuffle, shuffle. Alright, Eve goes first. Fantastic. So, what are we looking at as far as cooldowns are concerned? Okay, I can work with that. So, I can just try to pound this thing into a pulp. Well, yeah, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and use one action to invigorate and remove this last cooldown on Flim Flam Strike, and then I'm going to use my other action to activate Flim Flam Strike. So I target one foe at range 5, and then I can... Oh, wait, it's move 1. Never mind. I got it mixed up with something else. So never mind, we're not doing that. Instead, we'll just do Phantom Punch. I'm just going to spawn this there, and then I'll attack 2. So yellow die +1. Alright, we do get a die, so it's going to do a total of 2 damage to number 2. Alright, and then I'm going to activate Phantom Punch again, and I will include the epic dice, doing 3 damage. Okay, so it's done 5 so far. And that's it for her. Next, Deidra. Alright, so for Deidra, let's, so how much health does this thing have left? Should have 2, right? Yep. So yeah, I'll go ahead and activate Divine Strike and target Slime 2. Alright, 1 damage, and I can push it, I'm not going to bother, and then my second attack, I'm going to do Divine Strike again and target the same one. Alright, I do get an Inspire, and it will finish it off. So I did a total 2 damage doing 2 Divine Strikes. That's 2 of my actions, leaving me with a Shenanigan. So number 2 is dealt with. Alright. Then, yeah, I'll go ahead and do my, get my Shenan on. Just kind of looking and see what's closest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just going to shift down 1 and just hang out. Alright, that is it for Deidra. Alright, goes Glitch Goblins. They don't move, they just try to explode. Doesn't do any damage, so they just sit there. Alright. And then it goes Slimes. So we need to go in order. So Slime 1 is going to move up 3 towards nearest foe. 1, 2, 3. Range 2 is just out of range. 7's going to move closer. 1, 2, and then shoot at the illusion for 2 damage. And then spawn a trap. Alright, and then number 8's going to stay in place and then shoot the illusion as well and kill it. So bye-bye illusion, and is also going to place a trap. Alright. Yep, 3 damage trap. Alright, that is it for Slimes. Goes to Deidra. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and do my Shenanigan and move to here. Then I'm going to shoot Slime 8. I'm going to roll both these dice. Alright, 3 damage. The Inspired does not matter. So 3 damage and I do push 1, which I'm going to push it there. Okay, and then I'm going to do Divine Strike again, targeting the same one. Okay, get the Inspired die back, does 1 damage. And then I'm going to push it right into the trap for a total of 4 damage in total. So that will put it at 7, which will destroy it. So bye-bye trap, bye-bye slime. Okay, that is it for Deidra. And then last turn goes to Eve again. So at this point I can do Flim Flam Strike if I want to. If I am willing to do the Invigorate for it. And you know what? Yeah, why not? I will do... Actually, no. I will move to here using Bewildering Strut, and then I'm going to do Phantom Punch. Spawn an illusion here, and then I'll punch that slime. Go ahead and use the black die for this. Alright, total 3 damage, one of them being crit, so 3. And then 4. We do 4 damage in total to Slime 7. Okay, and that is it for her. Okay, there are still slimes on the board, so I don't need to worry about the objective. And I'm going to go ahead and do cooldowns. Alright, see how big that stack can go. Okay, and we'll go ahead and roll both these dice. Okay, both of them have low tiers. We'll see what we can do from here. So, shuffle. And draw. Alright, slimes go first. Number 1's going to shoot at, or not shoot, it's going to just attack for 2 damage. With its burst. Okay. And then slime 7 is going to do a burst on Eve, and Eve is just going to use her shield to negate it. So, only does 2 damage, so shield will negate 2 damage. Alright, that is it for slimes. Next goes to Eve. So, with Eve, I'm going to go ahead and replace the illusion with a fresh illusion using Phantom Punch, and I'm going to punch the slime 7. Okay, 2 plus 1 is a total of 3 damage. I might have forgotten the plus 1 from the previous Phantom Punch. I apologize if I did, but I did 3 damage anyway, so it's going to be a total of 7, finishing off number 7. Okay, number 7 dealt with. And then let's do Bewildering Strut. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, and then it goes to Deidra. Deidra is going to go. She's going to do Graceful Step. 1, 2, 3, 4 to there. And then she's going to shoot that slime with Divine Strike. Okay, I'm going to Inspire and do 1 damage. I can push. I am not going to push yet. I'm going to wait for the second strike. I'm going to do Divine Strike again. I will use the Epic Die I just got. Alright, 3 damage, so puts it at 4, and then I'll push it 1. Okay. Then next goes Glitch Goblins, so they actually move now. Move 1 space towards nearest foe, and then range 3 has no targets. Okay, and then next goes to Deidra. So we'll do our Graceful Step to there. And I'm going to go ahead and Divine Strike the wall here and resolve that. Alright. So we break that, and then it goes straight to, what's the last room? Blob Room. Upon entering the room, you encounter a very unwelcome sight, a massive slime monster with smaller ones butting off of it. As the monster jiggles to life upon your entrance, dust and pebbles scatter down from above, and the rotting support beams groan under the weight of the loose rock ceiling. Map features, Rotten Pillar Special. These spaces completely block the way. Figures may not enter, create tokens on, nor draw range through these spaces. Only heroes may deal damage to Rotten Pillars. When a hero performs an attack, they may target a space containing a Rotten Pillar as though it contained a foe. When you deal damage to the Rotten Pillar, place that damage on the pillar's nameplate. Once 3 or more damage has been dealt to a Rotten Pillar, it may no longer be targeted by attacks, and it deals damage to the Gelatinous Blob. This damage cannot be prevented by Toughness Tokens, and no such tokens are discarded as a result of this damage. And then Point of No Return Special. The Gelatinous Blob is attempting to escape the Blob Room by moving toward the Dripping Passage. If the Gelatinous Blob successfully ends the combat round on the other side of this dotted border, the players lose. If the Gelatinous Blob crosses this border but is later moved back to the other side of it, they do not lose the scenario. If the Gelatinous Blob crosses the border but is defeated before the objective phase, the players do not lose the scenario. Alright. And then it just makes a note that at the start of its turn, it essentially always pushes. And this effect is not a result of a harm effect, so you can't use evades and shield tokens to prevent it. Alright. Now, we do need to spawn everything, so let's do that. So we get... there's a note letting us know that Rotten Pillars will do 7 damage to the blob, which I'm guessing happens once you do the 3 damage. We got traps on G and H. We're going to have a Gelatinous Blob on C. Yeah, the harder the difficulty, the closer it starts, essentially. So there's only one Gelatinous Blob, so... Now, so something to note, I don't know what happens as far as the initiative bag is concerned. I don't know if you add it to the initiative bag or not. I'll check that after I place everything else. In the meantime, we do get some more slimes, though. D, F, and I get slimes. So, get number 3. Actually, I don't think I shuffled. Just in case, I'll shuffle. 6. It honestly doesn't make too much of a difference. So, D, F, and I. So, D. F. And then number 5 is I. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and check real quick to see if we add the Gelatinous Blob this turn or not. So BRB. Okay, so if a monster is added to the board on the same round that already has figures on the board, like for example if another slime or another glitch goblin were spawned, obviously since their initiative token has already been added, you don't worry about it. In the case of something that's not been on the board at all, such as the Gelatinous Blob, you do add their group initiative immediately to the initiative bag. So I'll go ahead and shuffle it. And yeah, and then they'll go when their turn comes up. Okay, so that was Deidra. So Deidra, I did movement, and then I shot. And then I'm going to go ahead and shoot again. Let me check. Sorry, I kind of lost track of my turn. Sorry about that. Okay, so I do have one more action left. So because my first attack was on the wall itself. So I'm going to go ahead and use my other action. I'm going to go ahead and activate Divine Strike. Actually, what state is the slime in? Yeah, I'm not going to worry about the slime. But well, I don't really have any other options, do I? I've already used my shenanigan. And Leap 2 is not going to put me in range of anything. I could Invigorate. Yeah, I'll just make the attack and see if we get ourselves a die. So I'll target Slime 1. Okay, we do get Invigorate and do 1 damage. So I will take that. I will go ahead and do the push. As long as it's away, it works. Alright, and then last, of course, or next turn is going to be Eve. So that means the monster's going to go last. For Eve, I'm going to... Definitely would like to deal with the slime as much as possible. Oh, I need to roll the die for the slime, I forgot. So 3. So that means it's going to move and try to explode, essentially. Which is not a big deal. Move 4. One, two, three. Alright, question. Do I have line of sight? I don't think I do. I'm not really sure how the token works for this. So yeah, tell you what, I'm going to... I'm just going to go ahead and move. So, let's do Bewildering Strut. Go 1, 2, 3, and I'll start getting that going. I'm going to keep the illusion in place, but it's not going to really matter. I'm going to go ahead and then do Shadow Phantom Punch, and I'm going to spawn the illusion there, and then I'll attack the pillar. Let's see if I can just deal with it immediately. So I'm going to go ahead and use the Inspire die. Okay, so once I do 3 damage to it, I can't do damage to it anymore. So I'll just add the 3 damage here. And then it's going to do 7 damage to the Gelatinous Blob. And Gelatinous Blob, by the way, has like 30 HP. And while the pillars are going to bypass the toughness, it's after that we're going to have to hit it 2 times and then do the rest of the damage. And there are only 3 pillars in total. So this will get us a 21 damage head start, and then we have to go through 2 toughness and then 9 damage. Alright, that is it for Eve. I'm not going to activate her other thing, so yeah, that is, now it's going to go straight to Gelatinous Blob. So what's going to do is push 1 each adjacent figure. So pushes 1 that. Actually, I can choose what direction, so I'll just do that direction. And then it's going to move forward 1 step. It's always going to make movement towards the dripping passage. So it's trying to escape, essentially. And then it's going to do a burst, but no targets. Okay. Now we obviously we check the objectives. There are none that we need to worry about. Gelatinous Blob hasn't escaped, and we haven't killed it yet. Let's do cooldowns. And we'll just put there. Okay, and then we roll these dice. Okay, 2, 1, 3. And then we grab all of these and throw them in. Shuffle, shuffle. And draw. Okay, slimes go first. Okay, we go in order, so we'll start with slime 1. Slime 1 is going to move towards nearest foe, which is going to be Deidra, and then explode. Deidra will use her last shield token to get to soak the damage. Then it's going to go number 2, which is going to go to here and then do 2 damage to our illusion. And then it goes 5, which is going to go to here and then finish off that illusion. And then 6 will go to here, and then do 2 damage to Eve. So, actually I don't need that, I can just 3 damage in total. Okay. That is Gray taken care of. Next, Eve. Alright, so for Eve, I'm going to go ahead and do Potion of Scrapes and Bruises and heal for 4. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that yet. Because I can get I'm going to see if I need to get up an illusion or not. So, let's do... So yeah, I have Flim Flam Strike. I do have Line of Sight. Yeah, I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to do Flim Flam Strike on the ooze, or the gelatinous blob thing. Which is going to... Oh, actually, no, that's not going to help. Oh, no, it works even when you don't do damage. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and roll the damage. It's not going to matter. except for the Inspire. And that will soak up one of the Toughness tokens it has. I'll put the other one here just to show that it has it. So that's one down. And then I get to move it one space, so I'm going to move it back to where it was. That'll buy us a little bit more time. Then I'm going to go ahead and punch the slime that's next to me and spawn another illusion. And I'll go ahead and use the black die I just got. Okay, crit and 1 damage. So I'm at a total of 2 damage, or sorry, total of 3 damage right now because I get +1. So I'm at a total of 3 damage right now. All right, 6 damage in total to slime 6 here, which is not bad. Oh, actually, what I can do is I'm going to go ahead and use the crystal shot glass here to do additional 1 damage. And that will kill it. So yeah, not too bad. A total of, yeah, we rolled 5 in total, +1 from this, and then +1 from the shot glass. So that will finish off number 6. Okay, that is it for Eve. I could do a shenanigan. Actually, yeah, I will do a shenanigan now. I'll go ahead and use this to heal for 4. I'll heal her to full. Okay, that's all of our items taken care of. Next character is going to be Deidra. So this thing's going to move up 1 space. That's it. Okay. So for this, what I'm going to do with her is I'm going to go ahead and activate... How much health did this slime 1 have? So as long as I do 2 damage, I can finish it off. Yeah, I think I'll do that. So I'll do Divine Strike on slime 1. Okay, we get the Inspire die. And then I'm going to go into attack. I'm not going to push it, and then I'm going to attack it 1 more time to finish it off. Alright, so that takes care of slime 1. Yeah, I had 5 and I did 2 damage, so that will finish it off. Okay. Next, I am going to go ahead and activate I Have Come to Help for my shenanigan. And I'm also going to go ahead and activate The Goddess is Generous with Her Gifts. Which will allow me to use this die here to put an energy token back on it. And then what I get to do is I can do Leap 3 and then give an ally a shield. So Leap 3. We'll put ourselves right here. And then we'll give a shield to Deidra. Or not Deidra, to Eve. Okay, that is it for her turn. Let's go ahead and draw. It goes to Deidra again. Alright, for this turn, I'm going to go ahead and activate Wings of Alana. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to do Shenanigan, Divine Step to here. Then I'm going to go ahead and activate Wings of Alana, Lambast My Throws. Will let me leap 2 and then attack 2 targets in melee. So I will go there. I'll roll 1 die. Okay, 1's going to do 2 damage to both of them because it's +1 damage. So 2 damage, and then I get to push 2 each target. So as long as it's away, I can do this. So we'll just have it pushed onto that trap. As far as I know, it doesn't have to be a straight line. But if it is supposed to be in a straight line, just let me know in the comments. For the 4 people that watch this video. Alright, 2 damage, and then 2 damage to you. And same thing is going to happen here, is I'm going to push this one through a trap. Doing another 3 to it. Okay. So I did my move. Unfortunately, how I positioned myself wasn't actually the smartest, so I actually don't have... Actually, I can do Wings of Ilana again, technically, and try to finish it off. But instead, I think I'm going to go ahead and do... No, I can't. It's a shenanigan. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my last action just to invigorate and remove the cooldown for the... Actually, that's useless. I'll remove the cooldown of this thing. Okay. So that takes care of that. That's it for Deidra. Alright, goes to this guy. He's just going to move up one space. Again, he can only attack in melee right now. And he had no one adjacent to him. This guy's going to move up one step, and that's it. Because nothing's within range 3. And then last will be Eve. Alright, so for Eve, let's... Yeah, I think I'm just going to... I'm going to keep this token. I'm just going to do a movement. I'll do Bewildering Strut first. Then I'm going to do Phantom Punch. And I'll spawn the illusion there. I'm going to roll the die. So it's going to do 2 damage, which is exactly what I needed to finish off that slime. So slime 2 is going to take 2 damage for a total of 7. And removes that from play. Okay, that's all the slimes. And then I have a shenanigan, but I still have my illusion, so I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, and that is everybody. Again, no objectives have been met, so we're going to go ahead and leave it there. Let's do our cooldowns. Alright. Roll dice. Okay, this time he's going to do Sizzle. Alright, we still have everybody, so everyone goes in the bag. Okay. Draw. Deidra. Okay, for Deidra, I'm going to Wings of Ilana Lambast My Foes. It's our last one, unfortunately. I'll do a Leap 2 to here. And I'm going to attack both of them. Okay. We get our Inspire die. It's going to get rid of the last toughness on the boss. And it will push 2 each target. It also will do 2 damage to the pillar, which is why I did it. Okay. If I want to, I can push the blob, but I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to keep it in place just so I can then follow it up with Take Hope, My Friends, We Shall Prevail. And roll 2 yellow dice and this thing. Okay, we're at 4 damage, 5 damage. We'll go ahead and re-roll the crit. 6, 7. So we did a total of 7 damage, which is definitely going to destroy that pillar. So 7 damage. So it's going to do 7, and then another 7 from the pillar. So it's a total of 14 damage. There's 14 damage. So what we can do is grab some 5s. Or attempt to. So that'll take care of that. There we go. We had did 7 earlier, now we did another 14, so we're at 21 damage in total. Okay. And then I can put a shield on somebody, so I will. She will put it on herself. Okay. Besides that, nothing else I need to note. Alright, that is it for Deidra. Oh, actually, I can do a shenanigan step. I'm not going to worry about it, though. I'll just stay in place. Actually, yeah, because I did a leap earlier. So yeah, for my shenanigan, I'm just going to move. 1, 2, 3 to there. Okay, next goes this guy. Unfortunately, still out of range. Alright, next goes Slimes. This one's doing a ranged attack. It's going to move 3 spaces towards the nearest foe. It's going to move to there. It's going to shoot at Eve. Eve will soak it with a shield. And that'll be it. So it soaks all the damage, doesn't trigger the harm effect. Okay, and then next goes Slime. Alright, it's gonna move 1 step closer to the dripping passage. And then it's going to damage 1 foe. And then place a 3 damage trap in any space adjacent to the target. So it's going to destroy the illusion token completely. And then place a trap. Okay. That is it for that. Thankfully, I only attacked 1 target. Alright, goes to Eve. So what I want to do with Eve... Let's go ahead and activate, or are you blinded? Do you hate it? Poor things. Target's 2 targets, so we'll roll the yellow die. Okay, 1 damage and an inspire. This slime has 1 health left. It's going to do 1 damage to this guy. And then they both get weakened. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and do Look Into My Eyes, and I'm going to target the Gelatinous Blob. And I'm going to use the Epic die. Okay, crit, and 1, so we're at 2 damage so far. Yep, 2 damage so far. And 4. So we did a total of 4 damage. So it's at 26 out of 30. And I can move it 1 step. Well, it's supposed to be 4 steps, but since this thing is resilient, it can only be moved 1. So I'm going to... move this thing down 1. Okay. Next, it's going to go Eve again. And I think I can just finish things off here. So I'm just going to move 1 space here and do Phantom Punch, which is going to spawn an illusion. I'm just going to keep it right there. And first attack, crit, so 1. 2, we do get an Inspire. And then plus 1 on top of that, so 3 damage in total. So it has 1 health left. And then I'm going to attack it 1 more time for 1 damage for a total of 30. Okay, that is Gelatinous Blob defeated. Alright. And that should be it. I could do a shenanigan, I'm not going to bother, and end her turn. Next goes to Deidra. I was going to try to destroy this pillar, but there's apparently no reason for me to do that. So Deidra is... I mean, the slimes have already gone, so I'm just going to pass turn, and then that'll end the round. We did defeat the Gelatinous Blob, which is the only requirement. It has been defeated, the players win. So we'll go ahead and read the conclusion. The great slime beast is dead, felled at last by your swords and sorcery and a few tons of stone. Once it dies, it doesn't take much effort to search the rest of the cavern and clear out all of its spawn. You and your companions are pleased with your victory, but are also very, very interested in getting back to the Red Dragon Inn for a scalding hot bath and a change of clothes. I don't know about you, says Deidra, picking at her slime-covered robes, but I have half a mind to burn these. Zod, on the other hand, seems not to notice Dietrich's complaints or the sorry state of his own robes. He stands both deep in thought and deep in a puddle of congealing slime innards. stroking his gray beard with his hand and staring up at the spot where, until recently, the giant slime monster had been. Pookie, who has climbed up on top of Zot's silver skullcap, sniffs at the air, an irritated expression on his bunny face. Zot? You're both familiar with the Undercity, he says to Fiona and Gurky at last. Get a lot of slime down here, do you? Sure, some, says Gurky. Usually in dark crawl spaces and abandoned parts, adds Fiona. They chew on cobwebs and dead rats and, filth and stuff. Says Zot. So you would say that generally they are rarely this large or aggressive? No, you were right about that when you said it was abnormal. Fiona scratches at her wild crimson hair. Biggest one Gurky and I ever saw was about the size of a small dog. I didn't think they got much bigger than that. Me either, says Gurky, but it's Undercity, It's a big place. Who knows what kind of things are alive down here, especially down deep. Mumbles Zot, clearly not put at ease by their replies. Don't worry, Zot, says Fiona, sheathing her sword. They're just monsters, right? We've beaten monsters before, and we'll beat them again. We're really good. We're kind of really good at this. That's a maybe. Zot turns and wades out of the puddle of slime guts with as much dignity as he can muster. I'll leave you to your baths and your fresh linens, my friends. I, for one, need to pay a visit to the Collegium Library. I have a bad feeling that there's more going on here than we might think. You mean it's not a one-off, completely random slime infestation? Asked Gurky. That's just great. And with that, we finish the scenario. So yeah, like I said, there's kind of two ways you can play it. If you just clear out all the monsters, room at a time, you'll of course end up spawning more slimes, which can be kind of dangerous if they happen to go first. Obviously, having only 2 characters means you only have 2 pools of health, which can be kind of dangerous. Obviously, Deidra is very, very tanky because she can get a bunch of shields. And also, just having access to illusions to soak hits is also very useful, and to soak up any harm effects, which is kind of cool. At this point, if we had kept Fiona with us, we would have had access to a shenanigan move, as well as a shenanigan range pull. But not really anything that does damage. But her abilities actually have really short cooldowns, which is kind of nice. Also, she gets a bunch of extra stat tokens. She gets actually +1 damage, +1 evade, just from her abilities alone. But yeah, I guess that's going to be it for right now. As always, if you are interested in this game, I believe their Kickstarter is still going. I'll see about doing Scenario XX, which is the only other one that's available. It's supposedly a lot more further down the line. I think you have like 7 stat points to play around with. You'll have upgraded gear. Now, as for the purpose of this module, it has preset gear already set up for all the characters and layouts and all that junk. So it kind of is what it is. I have taken a look at the Scenario XX, and it's definitely a different one. It's more time-based. But we'll deal with that hopefully next week if I have the time. So until next time, everyone, I am the Depressed Dealer. This was Tales from the Red Dragon Inn on Tabletop Simulator. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.